Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. We are back with the Ted Show. I've been trying to get this young man on my show for a long time. Scott George is an old friend, and he's not old, but our friendship is certainly old. He's an amazing man of faith, a great community leader. I could go on and on. But he has been through such a journey, especially in the last year or so. And so he has a book, Blindsided: How to Get Up When Life Knocks You Down. We want to talk about that because I feel like all of us are sort of feeling knocked down with this whole pandemic thing, and we're trying to figure out how to maneuver through it and pivot. So I am honored and thrilled to have you on the show. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Ted. Man, it's great to be with you, my friend.
I'm so happy to have you, even though we are not sitting next to each other at the club. I still get to see you. The book is amazing. I followed the entire story, but before we get into hashtag Austin's Army and we talk about the book, tell everybody a little bit about you so that they kind of understand where you're at in the journey.
Sure. I've been around Orlando since 1968, so I've been around for a long time. My wife
You're
Tammy
an
was born.
infant.
I'm an infant. Tammy is born in Sanford, so she's a native. But I went to Edgewater High School, UCF, and then
So
graduated with
nice.
from a Christian university with a doctorate degree. So I've been in Orlando for many years, and was honored to have started a big charity that now is one of the largest in the state, United Against Poverty, and they're doing great work. And so
Yes,
I've,
they are.
I've
Amazing.
I've been honored just to be in the Orlando area and get to know so many people and try to help out as many people as I can. And now I'm a
Where,
pastor at Pine Castle United Methodist Church.
yes, you are. And my high school friend, Michelle Lacey, goes, I can't remember what her married name is, but I see her posting about you. What a small
Yes,
world we live in.
yeah, it is.
She's amazing. And I haven't physically probably seen her since we graduated high school. And I will not out her as far as what year that was, because she looks great and nobody would believe it. But the what strikes me about you and your story is even the first time we met, you've got this strength that comes with faith. You're very focused. You've always done a lot for the community. Why? What is it that drives you to do a lot for the community? I feel like United Against Poverty has changed lives. I know lives that has changed, but you've also always been involved. Why? Where did that come from?
Well, I mean, it came from a deep faith and a conviction that people of faith, we have to do more than just talk and sing about what we need to do. We actually
Amen.
need to put some feet to it and actually do it. And so I've had that passion for many years, and it was just a natural response to do something about what I believe Christians, should be doing in the world to make a difference.
Amen. I'm a big believer in that. I try to make my testimony be my actions and what I'm involved in.
Yes.
And so it can be a challenge in this crazy world we live in, especially this pandemic world we live in. But it's so important for us. You give back a lot in the community. And I think what's fascinating about your story, and so let's take a deep dive. You got blindsided. There is no better word to
No.
describe what happened. So, for those people who don't know the story, tell them a little bit about what happened.
Yeah. Life was really good. I've got four beautiful kids. I've been married for 35 years. We've been through normal ups and downs, but I would say by and large, I was living a pretty good life and no complaints. Live in Maitland, started the charity, a pastor of a church. I've written 9 books. I get to travel the world. I get to speak and help people all over. And life was good. Those T-shirts that are real popular, life is good.
Yes.
And I believe in that. And in fact, I've got a few of them. But Ted, like on September 14th, life no longer was good. And our son was in a tragic accident. And in a matter of seconds, my life and our lives dramatically changed. He was in the Keys. He was at a bachelor party. and he jumped into a pool and hit his head, and he was unconscious for 52 days. We left Orlando that night. My wife packed a bag and we got into two cars, and my wife Tammy didn't come back for 11 months.
Wow.
She lived in Miami. We lived in Miami. We lived then in Atlanta. And I mean, Ted, I'm telling you, our world got just turned upside down in an instant, and life was no longer good.
How did you change? Because here's the thing I noticed immediately when the news, when you posted, because you guys had to have a family choice, right? You had to choose how much of this you were going to share, what part of the journey you were going to put
Mm-hmm.
out there. And at some point, you must have made the decision as a family to go, you know what? Everybody needs to hear this. Everybody's asking me. I need to put it out there. And you became incredibly prolific about sharing your journey on social media.
Yeah, well, because we're such a public family, and we were getting bombarded by so many of our friends. And Ted, I must say, in the early days, you were one of those guys who was texting me and telling me that you were praying for me, and it was huge. And we had to communicate. There's too many people to do it one by one, and so we just decided to be vulnerable and open. And it was raw, and it was ugly, and it wasn't pretty, and it was hard because I'm a very positive person and I want to encourage people. And the last thing I want to do is bring people down, but we had to be brutally honest with where we were as a family. And we were down in Miami, and it was not good. Several times, Austin was just, I mean, so close to death. I mean, he had pneumonia, he had blood clots in his arms that were heading to his heart, and it was just brutal. And it was the prayers and the thoughts and the community that just stepped up and just breathed life into us when we had no life. We were hopeless, we were desperate, we were alone. And it was the people that we had poured into and given to and helped all these years that just stepped up, and it made a huge difference in our situation.
I felt immediate, there was an immediate embracing of the George family. I feel when you first started posting on social media, which I know is not the easiest thing to do when you are going through it, and then you're questioning whether or not is Austin going to make it? Where are we at? What are the setbacks? And you shared every single one of those. And I think what that did was it just got people involved. It made people realize that their positive thoughts, if that's what your beliefs are, or prayers, which is my belief, were helping. And so you all continue to just shine the light on the good, bad, and the ugly of what was going on. That couldn't have been easy for you to give those updates. I would read your updates and get weepy. As a dad, my heart was broken. I couldn't figure out what is the best way to help. And so I imagine everybody was feeling that, and you all inviting us in to what you were dealing with, I think it was so cathartic for everybody.
And without sounding like a cliche, I mean, the only reason this makes sense is for me to use this story in our journey to help other people.
Yeah.
Like, I will never get the answer why. That I'll never get that answer. Why did this happen to me? And that's what we all ask, don't we? When life
Yes, we
turns south, when things go bad, our first response is, why me? Why us? Why him? Why now? And we will never get those answers. And so I had to make a shift very early on. And I didn't spend a whole lot of time asking why me. I asked the question, what? What now? What do you want to do with this? What do you want me to learn from this? And when we made that shift and I was able to communicate that to so many people, it helped change the perspective. And now the reason I wrote the book Blindsided was to help people, because Ted, people are getting blindsided every single day.
I agree.
They get divorce papers unexpectedly. They lose their job from COVID. They get laid off. They go through a relationship issue. And when you get blindsided, it's really not the question of if. If you're living, you are going to get blindsided at least once in your life. And when you do get blindsided, how do you respond and what do you do? And it will either make you or break you.
Great.
And this situation certainly broke us internally, but it made us stronger and healthier. And we want to help more people.
Well, the break itself, I know. You are going on trying to figure out things that even the doctors didn't know in the beginning, which I loved that you shared that, because people obviously immediately they want to know answers. They want to know the why. I can't tell you how many people reached out to me when you announced it and said, "What happened?" Well, you know what? I didn't know all the details, but what I encouraged them to do was pray, send positive thoughts. And I knew eventually, based on your posts, that you would share the journey, again, good, bad, and ugly, about the journey, because you all, Austin is well.
Yes.
Um, in the beginning, there were days when you would post, and Stacy and I would talk to Stacy, my wife, about it. I'm like, oh my God, this is a low. We need to pray. We all need to get
Yeah.
together and we need to figure this out, because there were moments where you all had setbacks. This wasn't an easy journey for you or truly for Austin.
No, no. And like, I'm a professional. I deal with people who get blindsided every week. Somebody in the community, somebody at church, somebody gets blindsided. I know, and I knew how to handle other people getting blindsided. But now, for the very first time in my life, Ted, I was blindsided, and it was so bad. I couldn't even face Austin in Miami. It was so bad as a dad. I couldn't even sit and face him. I had to sit behind him. And those posts and those hymns that I wrote about, and the communication was all sitting behind his bed, because I couldn't even look at how bad my son was. But out of that, people related to that, and people responded to that, and their prayers and their support gave us strength and hope, and we're so grateful for that, and that's why we want to help more people. So I wrote the book Blindsided to help people, to give them hope.
So it's one thing to experience that. It's another thing to basically relive it when you're writing it again. So there's a certain torture involved, cathartic but torturous, because you're having to relive those moments again where you felt, we all feel it, hopeless. We're not sure where this came from. We all want to ask, why me? I don't think you're human if that doesn't come into your
Yes,
brain at least
true.
at some point. And that's not a sign of weakness, guys. I want you to listen to what Scott's saying. There's nothing wrong with you going, why? Whether or not you focus on that and make that the focus of how you're moving forward is a whole nother discussion. And you all chose to figure out how to make the best of it and make it a positive impact on the world, which I absolutely love.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
I found great comfort in the story of Christ when he was faced with the biggest blind side in history, and yet here is Christ, and his first question was, "Why?
Yeah,
Why have you forsaken me?" So,
correct.
if he's able to go through that, then it's okay for us to ask the question why. But at some point, you really got to shift and begin to ask what, because I don't know that we'll ever get our true full answers this side of eternity. So I try to focus on, okay, how can I use this to be better? And a lot of people cautioned me. They were like, "Oh, this is too soon. You can't write a book in a year." And for me, it was very cathartic. For me, it helped me to stay focused, and it helped me to accurately remember what was taking place. I'm
Yes.
not going to wait 5 years, because, at our age, Ted, I mean, we're going to forget half of what we know in 5 years. I had to remember the details of
Truly.
what was going on. And so for me, it was healthy. And since I've already written 9, I've got the system in place where I'm able to do that. But this is a book that you never want to write. This is bittersweet. This is not, there's no joy other than knowing that somebody's going to get help from what we've been through.
And so update us on Austin. So Austin had a tragic accident. It was touch and go. Guys, when you read the book, when you look at Scott's posts, It was touch and go multiple different times. So much unknown, so much not understanding, because honestly, the doctors didn't know. There was so much that you all were going through. So tell people where we're at now. Where's Austin at now, and how is the family doing?
Well, as I said, we were down in Miami. He was in a coma for 52 days. Started coming out at about day 40. And then we moved to Atlanta Shepherd Center. And there he went through great rehab, and what a great center they are there in Atlanta. And then, we started to get ready to come home. And the crazy thing was, we came home March 1st. And that was right when COVID started to really break out. And that was really, really good. We all needed some downtime, and we needed to get away. And so we just came to Volusia County and stayed for several months and just checked out and rested and got wind in our sail. And Austin has done really, really good. He's doing good. Every day he gets better and better. In fact, I was telling you before we started today, my second son, Aaron, got married this weekend. And Austin gets up as the best man and just hit a home run. I mean, no notes, no phone to look at. He just got up. And I mean, when he was done with his toast, I mean, the whole room stood, and Tammy and I are crying, and Aubrey's crying. And it was such a celebration because that was a glimpse of Austin. And,
yes.
He's getting better, and we're delighted with that.
I'm so happy to hear that. One of the things that I thought about when I was reading through the book is you're a lot. I'm a lot like you. I don't. People come to me for help, and it is not the norm for me to ask for help. So you got put in an immediate position where you would have to depend on the people that care about you. What was that like?
Very, very humbling. And I was not comfortable with it at all. But people reminded me of how many people over the years that we had helped, and we had sowed seeds, and we had given, and we had established a charity that is continuing to this day to help people. And so I was just amazed. I mean, John Rivers from Four Rivers stepped up, and they set up their foundation and helped us, and people gave. And Kate Santek wrote a front page article in the Orlando Sentinel, and companies and churches, churches that have ministries of women sewing blankets and sending us blankets and gifts. And it is truly amazing. But I was not comfortable with it, Ted, because it's just very, very humbling. But yet it's a circle of life, and it's a ripple effect. And,
yes.
What you give, it comes back to you. And we were able to receive it. And, we're not going to hang on to it. We are already scheduled a time where we're going to go up in December and go back to the Shepherd Center. And we're going to take Austin and our whole family. We're going to drive up, and we're going to spend a couple days up there helping people and blessing them and giving them a copy of my book and giving them blankets. Because last Christmas, Austin was in ICU, and he was going through his second surgery. So we know what it's like to be in a hospital on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. And we want to make sure that those families that are up there now, they know there's a little bit of hope. And I'm hoping that when they see us and they hear our story, that they'll get just a little bit of hope, because it is a hopeless situation when you're there Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and you're in the hospital and you're not sure if your son's going to live or die. So we're gonna pass it on for sure.
I love the fact that I understand it. It's very difficult to receive. If you are used to being the one that people come to, when you begin to receive things, when it's your time to receive, it can be very challenging. So that's one of the reasons why I asked that, because I think there's a lot of people out there that don't understand that they really do have this support system. So when it's their time to receive, receiving is also a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
No, great
receiving
point.
is good, and you have to figure out how to do it in a way that makes sense for you, but I think that people want to do things, and that's one of the things I'm sure was a challenge, especially in the beginning, is everybody wanted answers on how to help. And when you're in the throes of things like you all were, it's very difficult to step back and go, all right, what is it that I actually need? And also, I don't even know how to receive what I need. I don't even know how to
Yeah.
ask for what I need. I don't even know how to communicate to you what it is that I need, although I know I need things. And so I'm sure it was a giant journey for you guys, but I would imagine that it does nothing but solidify and strengthen your faith. And I love that about it. And you just had somebody pop on, which I just put up there,
Nice.
Enrique Aponte. Just loves you guys. What's next? What's up for you and for Austin?
Well, we're just going to just keep helping people and keep giving hope. And Austin's back to work part-time. He's
Good
in the
for him.
insurance industry, and he's doing really good. And I think with this Corona situation, it's given him time and the company time to just settle back just a little bit. And he's getting better. He and Aubrey are scheduled to be married in December, which that's going to be a great
Woohoo.
celebration. So we're
Love
going to
it.
just keep moving forward. And I mean, I'm getting a lot of great reviews on this book. I mean, it's really resonating with people. If I can just say this, Ted, there's a parable that really helped me while we were through this. And I want to share it if we got a couple more minutes.
Absolutely.
Uh, it's a story of a young man who was paralyzed. He was unable to move. He couldn't walk. He would spend his day lying in bed, and he heard that Christ was nearby, and he wanted to go see. He wanted to experience. He wanted to get there, and he couldn't on his own. So he surrounded himself with 4 people, and those 4 guys or women, they carried him to see Christ. And when they finally made it there, the crowd was so crazy they couldn't even get to see him. So they went up on a roof and they cut a hole in the roof and they lowered him down. And when Christ saw that, he was so moved by their faith that he said, your sins and your body, you're forgiven and you're healed. What a great story. So watch this, Ted. When I thought of that story, I was reminded of how that man who was paralyzed, he needed 4 people. Number one, he needed somebody who could see. When you're blindsided and you don't know what in the heck is going on, you need people around you that can see. Here's where we're going. Here's what we need to do. And I'm telling you, it was so dark, I didn't have the ability to see. But I surrounded myself with people who could see where we needed to go. And they were helping to carry us to our miracle. The second group of people, and this is in the book, you got to have people that are saying the right things.
Yes.
Speaking hope, speaking destiny, speaking purpose, speaking life. And on our website, visit Austin's Army. People would write in and we would take those posts and we would go in Austin's room at night and we would read those posts every single night.
Yeah.
What we were doing, we were saying life and health and hope and destiny. And when you're paralyzed, you got to have people that see. You got to have people that say the right things. The third person carrying us was people who sacrifice. People who are just willing to give. People willing to give their time. We had people pack up U-Hauls and bring us all of our clothes, our furniture. They even brought up a family portrait that we have hanging over our fireplace. And so when we walked into our home in Atlanta that we stayed there for 4 months, it was home. Why? Because people sacrificed. And then the fourth person that carries you to your victory, you got to have people that see things, people that say things, people that sacrifice. And then number 4, people that have significance, people that can make a phone call. This is great. You'll love this, Ted. We got into Shepherd's Center because of a volunteer at the food bank down on Michigan. She knew the founder of the Shepherd's Center.
Wow.
Her name is Judy. Judy made one call on a Thursday afternoon and said, this family needs help. Can you help them? And in 2 days, a representative from the Shepherd Center met with us down in Miami, and Austin was able to get into the Shepherd Center because of one person with significance.
Beautiful.
And I would just encourage all your listeners, you have got to surround yourself with people who see things, people who say the right things, people who can sacrifice, and people who can make things happen. And when you surround yourself with people like that, they will carry you to your miracle.
Beautiful. Thanks for making me cry this late in the afternoon. Not really that difficult, but you know, that whole story will get you. I agree. I love that. I love the fact that people embraced you. They surrounded you, you and your family. And that's what it's all about, right? You have to have those people, and each person has a different role. That's why when people will say, well, there's not, think in their minds, there's nothing I can do to help. That is so far from the truth. And I want you to, if you're moved to help somebody who's been blindsided,
Yes.
you really, really, really do have a gift or a talent or something that you can give. Nothing is too small. People love it. They never forget it. You will never forget
Never.
Judy making that call. How could you? And it's always, for me, it always seems to be someone, the least expected person.
Yes.
Like it's never what I think in my brain it's going to be. It's always somebody else. And because I'm a man of faith, I believe God has these people show up in my life at the time I need them. And
Yes.
so it's so powerful what you're saying. And I love it. You are a clear example of what it's like to be embraced by faith and embraced by the love of your community. All right. So how do people reach you? How can they get the book? How can they learn more about you and hashtag Austin's Army?
Yeah. Well, our website is jscottgeorge.com, and then they can go on Amazon. And here's the book. It's called Blindsided, and How to Get Up When Life Knocks You Down. And they can go on Amazon and get it, and be happy to sign it and send it to them. And we want to use it as a tool to help people, Ted.
All right. God bless you. You know, I love the George family. You guys are amazing. Thank you for coming on the show and sharing. It's just such a critical message. And there's so many people that I know when they watch the show, they will get that hope and inspiration that they need. Thank you for sharing. God bless you all. I'm
Thank you,
just
Ted.
honored to be your friend and honored to have you on the show.
Bless you. Thank you again, Ted.
All right, brother. We'll see you later. Reach out to Mr. Scott George. I put the website on there, jscottgeorge.com. Get the book. You'll be motivated and inspired, no doubt in my mind. All right. We love you guys. We'll see you back soon. Take care. Bye, everybody.